Hello everyone, it's me, Sarah, and today I'm going to teach you how to fast draft your novel. Disclaimer, I am not an authority on fast drafting. I'm just someone who fast drafts lots and lots, so this is how I do it, basically. Fast drafting is the most effective way that I personally have found in order to write my first draft, to get it done. It is, as the name suggests, fast drafting. You are writing your first draft as quickly as possible in as short amount of time as you possibly can. No holds barred, no looking back, straight to the finish line. Do not pass go, do not collect £200 sort of thing. You know, typically most people will write their first draft within a month, sometimes shorter. It completely depends on you, but the aim is as fast as you can. The quicker the better. As Rachel Houck once said, let your first draft be dry, barren land, and by gosh does fast drafting get you that. If you haven't tried fast drafting before, I do highly recommend it if you are struggling with your first draft of anything, and I am going to teach you how I fast draft. The most important thing to learn to do with fast drafting is writing sprints. They are your friend, they are your confidant, they are going to give you a big massive hug. Writing sprints are the way to go when you fast draft, because writing sprints are sprints. You write as much as you can in a set amount of times. It's basically the baby version of fast drafting. You set a timer, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, I could go on and on, but for as long as you want. You'll sort of figure out as you do writing sprints where your limit is. What is the lowest amount of time you can go doing a writing sprint, and what is the highest? I know a lot of people sort of need at least 7 minutes in order to gain traction with their writing. I know some people can't go over 15 minutes because they start to lose that traction. It's something that you need to do, learn, discover, experiment for yourself. I personally love 1K 30-minute writing sprints. It's where you write 1,000 words in 30 minutes, or at least the aim is to write 1,000 words in 30 minutes. These are fantastic to getting in as much amount of words as you possibly can in a short amount of time, especially if you find yourself struggling with time to spare during the day. Taking a break at work, do a 5-minute writing sprint, get a couple of hundred words down. You have half an hour between your lessons at school or college or university. You do a 20-minute writing sprint, get 800 words down. The best thing about writing sprints is you can do them multiple times a day without feeling like you have spent so much time writing, and still get a lot done. The next thing I recommend when you're fast drafting is do not edit as you go. Editing is your worst nightmare. Enemy is your antagonist when you fast draft. Please don't do it. Like, you can do it if you really can't help yourself. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to crawl through the screen and go, no, don't edit, you know, but try not to, because the point of fast drafting is to just spill all your words out onto the page as fast as you can. Doesn't matter if it makes sense, doesn't matter if it sounds crap, and you know, you sift through it later for all the good stuff. It can be a very difficult thing not to edit as you go. I've struggled with it. Other writers struggle with it. Some people don't like unedited work as they go, but I find it very important with fast drafting to not look back. If you find yourself struggling, turn off your grammar, turn off your spell checks so you don't get those stupid squiggly lines underneath your work to distract you. Change the colour of your text to a light grey or white so you can't physically see what you're writing. That works. That's really annoying that you can't see what you're writing, but you can't physically see what you're writing, so you don't know if it needs fixing, so you won't think about fixing it. If you want to go back after you finish your writing session and, you know, edit what you already have, fine. Just don't do it while you're physically writing. Outline-ish is the next thing I do. Would I love to be the type of writer who outlines their full novel in 25,000 words and I know every single detail? Yes, I would love to be that type of writer. I'm not that type of writer. I can't focus enough. I get bored writing outlines. So I half outline. So I know at least where I'm going next. So I know at least the gist of this chapter, the gist of that dialogue, the gist of this thing that they need to figure out, and then as I fast draft, I will fill in the blanks. If it makes sense, great. If it doesn't make sense, that's an issue for future me to sort out now, isn't it? Do you have to outline if you fast draft? No, pantsers, you do not. It is helpful because it takes away your need to think about what you need to write next, which can slow you down. But if you don't want to sit there and outline chapter by chapter, do a writing session and take 3 minutes at the end to just think about what you might want to come next. There's your outline. You're welcome. The next most important thing about fast drafting is deadlines. Make your deadlines and then stick to your deadlines. I suck at both of them. Somehow I make it work. Deadlines are the pinnacle of fast drafting. You can set whatever deadlines you want to. You can set a time deadline. You can set a word count deadline per day. I find it super helpful to set word count goals for each and every day that I write based on what I have to do that day. It's never the same. It goes up, it goes down, depending on my schedule, depending on what I have to do for the day. I know for a fact that I can write 2,000 words in around about an hour if I'm doing writing sprints. So usually I'll set my goal at around 2,000 words. I'll write for half an hour in the morning, I'll write for half an hour in the evening, and that's my goal done for the day. Fantastic. You can set your goal up as I want to finish one chapter today, and however long that chapter is, whether it's 1,000 words, whether it's 5,000 words, that's what you do. I have to say that while deadlines are important with fast drafting, please, please, please do not become fixated on them. Don't stress out if you don't hit your deadline, because that's not worth getting stressed over. Just, okay, you know what? I wanted to write 2,000 words today. I only wrote 1,000. I wrote 1,000 words. Focus on the positives of what you actually did achieve that day. Don't focus on the negatives of what you didn't achieve, because negativity is only going to bring you down. When you're fast drafting, you need to be as up high as you possibly can, because it can get intense. The next important thing that you should do with fast drafting is do not research. Do not dare go onto Google and type in some sort of question like, what type of weapons did they have in medieval England, or what does this dragon look like, or how do I pronounce magic? Don't do it. Do not fall into the temptation of Google and travel down that rabbit hole where you will inevitably have 27 tabs open at the top, because while you've been researching food for elves, you've somehow managed to link yourself all the way over to the best fabric to make a 16th century dress out of. Don't do it. Research is going to slow you down. Make it up, note down what you need to research, and research after you've finished your first draft. The last thing that I do when I fast draft, which I also highly recommend, is using placeholders in your writing. Now, placeholders are words, are symbols that you use when you can't think of the right word, when you can't think of the right scene. You just use that instead of sitting there stopping and trying to think of exactly how you want to put this line. For example, if I can't think of a word, if I know the word I want but I can't think of it, I'll just write elephant. I write elephant and I move on. Then when I go through my text afterwards, anything that is elephant, unless an elephant is a character, of course, is a word that you need to fill, and then you can fill it. If I'm struggling with my plot, if I can't think of how to end a scene, or if I can't think of a scene that needs to come in between A and C, I'll just do 2 stars, which means you need to insert some more text here after your writing session. I can go back and sort of try and outline, plan it, or I leave it completely until I've done the entirety of the draft. Go back, find the stars, and then think about what I want to insert there. If I'm having difficulty even while fast drafting, whether it's an action scene or whether it is like an escape scene or something like that, or one of those really casual conversations that I can never seem to write because I don't have personal conversations myself with other people, I'll stick up a star to alert me that this is something that needs looking at, and simply write, they have a deep discussion about blah. End star. Continue on at the next part of my novel to continue fast drafting. It helps me avoid sitting there and umming and ahhing over specifically what it is that I want to write. Most importantly, it helps me keep going. It keeps up my momentum if I know to just write elephant, if I know to just put the stars without having to think about it. And that is, I suppose, what the most important thing about fast drafting is: you don't stop, don't look back, don't care, just write. And yes, it is a learned skill, but with practice you can do it. So they are the things that I do while I fast draft. Hopefully you guys have gotten something out of this video. Let me know down in the comments below, do you guys fast draft? If so, do you enjoy it? If not, why haven't you given it a try yet? Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Good thoughts and happy writing.